In the quiet of the late afternoon, the sunlight bends and dances through petals that never wilt. Not real petals, but bottle-bottom blossoms, each one born from what once was discarded. This is the Bottle Bloom Tunnel, a whimsical walkway where imagination meets sustainability. It began with simple observation. Children playing in the garden, empty bottles piling up after weekend gatherings. And then a question bloomed. Could joy and waste become one? With a pair of scissors, some heat, spray paint, and old metal arches from an unused trellis, the transformation began. Each bottle bottom was shaped with care, like carving a story into plastic. Soft edges curled like petals under gentle flame. Colors: lavender, sky blue, marigold, blush pink, sprayed with light hands, then left to dry under the sun. Assembled onto arched frames, the flowers rose not from soil, but from intention. Now, as one walks beneath the tunnel, the light filters through in rainbows. The breeze lifts the petals slightly, casting soft shadows that dance across the ground. It feels like walking through a living painting. This project isn't just a statement of creativity. It's a small resistance against waste, a garden of hope made by hands that chose not to throw away. DIY tip: use heat sparingly. Boiling water or a heat gun works better than open flame for safety and control. Choose transparent bottles for a better light play, and hang them with clear nylon thread to keep the focus on the blooms. Every tunnel begins with a bottle, and a little belief that beauty can grow from anything. There's a melody that only nature can compose. In the soft hush of a backyard garden, it begins with a drop, then another, then a steady, soothing rhythm. Plink, 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 like gentle rain on a still pond. But this rain doesn't fall from clouds. It flows from bottles, once tossed aside, now reborn into something sacred. The Koi Rain Bottles project began with a simple longing to create serenity, a place where water sings, fish glide, and peace lingers. Instead of buying costly pumps or ornamental fountains, the solution came quietly, humbly, from recycled water bottles. Each bottle is positioned along a wooden beam above the pond, tilted downward. A small hole in the cap releases a slow, steady stream. Inside, a touch of sand adds balance, and the flow can be adjusted to a trickle or a soft stream. The koi love it, not just for the movement of water, but for the oxygen it brings. When sunlight hits the stream, it glimmers like crystal threads. The garden feels alive, the air cooler, the moment timeless. DIY tip: use food-grade plastic bottles for safety, especially if you have fish. Make small, clean holes using a heated nail or fine drill bit. Tie the bottles securely to prevent wobbling, and angle them just enough for gravity to do the rest. What once was waste is now the heartbeat of a tranquil pond, a waterfall made not with wealth, but with wisdom and water. In the quiet geometry of a well-loved garden, boundaries don't divide, they protect. Here, beneath the watchful eyes of sprouting greens and budding flowers, stands a fence not forged from iron, but from intention. Made of bottles, ordinary, used, discarded, now filled with strength and purpose. This is the concrete guard bottles fence. Each plastic bottle, once held water or soda, now anchors the garden's order. Turned upside down and filled with wet concrete, they are embedded side by side into a trench along the edge of the soil. The caps face downward, while their base, shaped like 5-petal flowers, forms a rhythmic line of translucent blossoms frozen in glassy silence. But this is more than charm. It's function. The solid weight keeps the bottles firm, rain or shine. The line they form keeps weeds out, shoes off the seedlings, and pets from wandering in. And the slight transparency of the bottles give the concrete inside a raw, honest appeal, where the natural meets the man-made. A simple wooden beam rests along the top line, tying the design together with balance and symmetry. As light travels across the row, shadows shift, reminding us that time, like plastic, can be reshaped into something meaningful. DIY tip: use a funnel to pour the concrete into clean bottles. Let them cure overnight before installation. Dig a shallow trench to stand the bottles in a straight row and secure with soil or mortar for extra hold. This fence whispers a quiet lesson. Even what we throw away can stand tall, guard life, and become part of something that grows. As the sun slips quietly behind the trees, the garden takes on a different rhythm. Shadows stretch, the air cools, and something magical begins to glow. Not from fancy bulbs or imported lamps, but from lanterns shaped with care, made from bottles once forgotten. Eco-lantern drops bring warmth not just in light, but in story. Each one begins with a plastic bottle, rinsed clean, its bottom trimmed into a soft curve. The plastic is shaped gently, some into tulips, some into bells. A soft coat of pastel spray, dusty pink, sky blue, or soft gold, gives each piece its unique aura. Inside, a small LED flickers to life. It doesn't dazzle. It glows like fireflies suspended midair, hung from tree branches or wooden pergolas with natural twine. These lanterns sway slightly in the breeze, whispering tales of rebirth under a starry sky. But perhaps the most beautiful part is how these lights make people feel. There's a calm in their flicker, a memory in their material. It's a light that says, we chose not to throw this away. We gave it another chance. DIY tip: use battery-powered LED lights for safety. Cut bottle shapes with a craft knife or heated scissors. Add ventilation holes to avoid condensation. You can even drill a small hole in the cap to thread your string through securely. The glow from these lanterns doesn't come just from bulbs. It comes from the quiet joy of making something beautiful, softly, simply, from what might have been waste. Some gardens are wild and untamed. Others are soft-spoken poems in color. Along a curved path where daisies lean and marigolds whisper in the breeze, a gentle line guides a way. Made not of stone or brick, but plastic, lovingly repainted and reborn. This is Color Edge Bottles. A border of discarded bottles turned into a decorative embrace for the soil they once threatened. Each bottle stands upside down, its neck buried, its round base turned toward the sun. And what makes them sing is the color. Mint green, pale lavender, baby peach, sky blue, painted by hand, each hue chosen like brushstrokes on a canvas. Together, they form a soft rhythm along the edge of the garden bed. The subtle flower-like base of each bottle echoes the blooms nearby, creating harmony between the artificial and the organic. Children walk past and smile. Visitors bend down, surprised to realize what they're made of. And you, the maker, know it didn't cost much. It just took intention. DIY tip: clean bottles thoroughly and lightly sand the surface before painting so the colors adhere better. Acrylic or outdoor-grade spray paint works best. Fill with sand or soil before embedding the ground to ensure stability. Arrange them close enough to hold each other in place, like old friends standing in line. These colorful edges don't just separate, they unite. They tell the world that beauty isn't about price tags or permanence. Sometimes it's about paint patience and a willingness to see color where others saw trash. In a small backyard corner where the sun kisses the wall each morning, life now grows in midair. Once empty bottles now cradle basil, thyme, and lemongrass. The scent is fresh. The message is clear. Green doesn't need much ground, just heart. This is the wall of herbs. A simple idea made from recycled plastic bottles that turns bare walls into living shells of nourishment and beauty. Each bottle is cut, cleaned, and given a second breath. Painted with joy, perhaps in pastel hues or dotted with white circles. They're strung along vertical lines or mounted onto wooden pallets, forming a vibrant tapestry of leaves and soil. Inside, herbs grow strong. Their roots stretch through reused compost, their leaves eager for sunlight. Some bottles hold mint, which releases its fragrance in the wind. Others nurture cilantro or rosemary, gifts not just for the garden, but for the kitchen. DIY tip: slice a wide opening on the side of each bottle for planting and poke drainage holes at the bottom. Tie twine around a bottleneck and base, then suspend vertically. Water from the top. Excess moisture will trickle down to the rows below, creating a self-watering effect. Use light-colored bottles or paint to prevent overheating in direct sun. This wall doesn't just grow herbs. It grows intention. It tells a story of mindful living, of using what we already have, and of finding beauty in tight spaces. Even the smallest wall can bloom when nurtured with love and a little imagination. In the quiet shimmer of morning light, a swan glides across a garden pond. Not feather and bone, but a bottle and dream. It moved with stillness, anchored in water, yet soaring in spirit. This is a swan of hope, a sculpture born not from wealth, but from wonder. Each curve of its neck, each delicate wing, was once a bottle headed for landfill. Clear, translucent plastic painted pure white, then trimmed and curled to mimic the softness of real feathers. Layer upon layer, every cut was a gesture of care, every shape a prayer for beauty and forgotten things. Mounted on a buoyant base made from bottle clusters or foam, it floats gently with the breeze. The arched neck, sculpted with wire and molded plastic, bows gracefully, as if listening to the wind or greeting the koi beneath. Children stop and stare. Adults smile with quiet recognition. For all its elegance, it's made of trash, and yet it speaks like art. DIY tip: use lightweight bottles with feather layers. Cut into petal shapes and slightly heat to curve. Paint them with matte or semi-gloss white spray. Build the neck using flexible tubing, wrapped with plastic or mesh. Float the body using closed bottles strapped beneath a circular base or foam board. Seal for balance. The swan doesn't move far, but it moves people. In its stillness lies a message that from waste can rise grace, and that in the act of making we also mend. It is more than decoration. It is a reminder that hope, too, can be handmade. In the early hours of the day, before traffic hums and chores begin, a quiet flutter stirs the garden. The air is alive with color, not just from flowers, but from wings. And perched delicately on a bottle once cast away, a small bird pecks its seeds, trusting, thankful. This is the plastic pollinator bar, a humble offering to nature, created from plastic bottles that once held water or juice, now transformed into tiny sanctuaries of nourishment. Each feeder dangles from a branch or pergola beam, suspended with string, its body painted in cheerful hues: sunset orange, leafy green, robin's egg blue. Small holes are cut near the base, with short wooden sticks or pencils inserted as perches. The bottles are filled with birdseed, millet, sunflower, cracked corn, inviting the wild chorus to visit. And they do. Finches, sparrows, doves. They gather, feed, and bring movement to stillness. Children learn their names. Gardeners pause to listen. And the garden becomes more than a place of plants. It becomes a haven. DIY tip: choose bottles with wide enough bodies for easy seed filling. Cut 2 holes opposite each other near the base, and insert wooden perches firmly. Above the perches, cut small feeding ports, just wide enough for a beak. Paint the outside with non-toxic paint, or leave it transparent for a natural look. This feeder isn't just a craft. It's a conversation between you and the sky, between what we waste and what we can welcome back. Every bird that lands is a reminder. Giving back can be as simple as saving a bottle and hanging it with care. Some ideas bloom before the flowers do. In a sunlit corner of the yard, a tower of color rises, not built from bricks or stones, but from plastic bottles given one more chance to bring joy. The rainbow planter pyramid is a celebration of life, color, and a gentle refusal to let waste go quietly. It begins with layers, circular, rising, each smaller than the one below. Bottles, once colorless and discarded, now blaze in red, orange, blue, and green. They are turned upside down, cut open, and filled with earth. From them sprout zinnias, petunias, marigolds, an explosion of bloom that defies their origin. From afar, it looks like a sculpture. Up close, it breathes. Bees hover. Children run circles around it. It becomes a centerpiece, a living beacon of what care and creativity can do. Built on a wire or wooden frame, each layer nests into the one below. The bottles are held in place by holes drilled into the frame or bound with rope. At night, small solar lights tucked between bottles give the entire structure a quiet glow, like the stars decide to come down and rest among the flowers. DIY tip: choose bottles of the same size for stability. Paint before assembling and let them dry completely. Use lightweight potting soil and consider planting trailing flowers on upper tiers so they cascade down the sides. Secure the pyramid on a level base for safety. This is not just a planter. It is a vertical joy machine. It shows that beauty doesn't have to spread outward. It can rise unapologetically from the ground up, From bottle to bloom, the journey is one of hope. In the rhythm of a garden, timing is everything. The sun rises, the soil warms, and roots wait patiently. Not for floods, but for the quiet gift of water, just enough to drink. The drip bottle saver offers that patience, drop by precious drop. It begins with a bottle. Clear, used, familiar. Fill it with water, twist the cap on tightly, and then pierce it, just 1 or 2 fine holes. Turn it upside down. Press it into the soil near your plant and let gravity do the work. No pump, no plastic tubing, just simplicity. What happens next feels almost meditative. The bottle slowly releases its contents over hours, even days. The soil stays moist, not soaked. The roots stay quenched, not overwhelmed. Your tomatoes flourish. Your greens stay crisp. And you, as the gardener, feel a quiet sense of partnership with the earth, with time, with your own resourcefulness. This method is a small revolution, especially in dry regions or for busy lives. It conserves water. It reduces effort. It gives plastic bottles a second job, one far more noble than holding soda. DIY tip. Use a heated needle to create small drip holes in the cap for precision. Experiment to find the best flow rate. You can bury the bottle halfway for stability and refill as needed. It works best when bottles are shaded slightly to avoid quick evaporation. This is irrigation without extravagance. Just a bottle, a hole, and a little trust. And in that slow rhythm, a garden grows, quietly, consistently, beautifully. Adventure doesn't always set sail from distant shores. Sometimes it begins in the backyard, where a pond becomes an ocean and recycled bottles become the hull of a ship bound for imaginary lands. This is the floating pirate Toyland, a whimsical vessel built from what once was waste, now reborn as a child's dream. The base is made from large plastic bottles, sealed and tied together to create buoyancy. Above, a lightweight wooden deck sits proudly, complete with miniature masts made of bamboo skewers and sails stitched from scrap cloth. On board, tiny pirates stand ready, crafted from toys, cork, or clay. Rope details, paper flags, and even a lookout post add layers of charm. As the wind catches the sails and the ship glides slowly across the water, a child's imagination takes over. Treasure maps, stormy nights, hidden islands. It's all there waiting. But beyond the play is a lesson, one of reuse, creativity, and storytelling. It teaches that fun doesn't need batteries or plastic packaging. It can be built with hands, thought, and a few bottles saved from the bin. DIY tip. Use hot glue or zip ties to secure bottles together. Make sure they're sealed tight for flotation. Create balance by distributing weight evenly across the platform. For safety, use only shallow ponds or supervised areas. This pirate ship doesn't just float. It sparks journeys. It brings siblings together. It reminds adults of simpler times. In a world where everything is fast and disposable, this slow, bobbing boat whispers a different message. Let joy drift slowly, and let play be handmade. There is music in the garden that no speaker can mimic. It sings when the wind passes through bottle caps, each one a note, a memory, a second chance. These are the bottle bloom wind chimes, born not from silver bells or brass tubes, but from plastic once forgotten. Strung together like strands of beads, red and yellow caps sway in rhythm. Blue ones click softly against translucent green. They hang from a repurposed wooden hoop, drifting lazily from a tree limb or patio beam. With each breeze, they dance and murmur, not loudly, but gently, like the rustle of leaves or the hush of distant waves. There is something calming in the sound, imperfect, real, familiar, and there's joy in the making, sorting through colors, punching small holes with care, threading each cap onto string or wire. Children can help. So can elders. It becomes a ritual, a bond, a slow afternoon well spent. Some chimes are painted, others left as they are, a collage of brands and hues, now transformed. DIY tip. Use fishing line or nylon thread for durability. Space the caps just far enough apart so they can knock together without tangling. Add small washers or beads between caps for extra sound texture. Try mixing in a few metallic caps for a deeper, tinkling tone. This wind chime doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be honest. And in the quiet of your garden, it will sing a reminder that beauty can be humble, sound can be healing, and waste, if we choose, can become wonder. In a quiet corner of the garden, something extraordinary catches the light. A dome, humble in size but full of purpose, built from clear plastic bottles, stands like a lantern of growth. Inside, green life stirs. Seedlings stretch toward the sun. Moisture clings to the walls. Warmth gathers and stays. This is a mini greenhouse dome, a shelter for fragile beginnings, crafted entirely from discarded bottles. It is simple yet profound. Each bottle, once thrown away, now holds space for life, stacked side by side and bound within a wooden frame. The bottles form translucent walls that trap sunlight and shield young plants from rain, wind, and frost. It began not from need, but from curiosity, a desire to grow herbs all year, to start tomatoes early, to give cucumbers a head start. And suddenly, a new world bloomed beneath the plastic. DIY tip: choose clear bottles for maximum light penetration. Cut off the base, then stack bottlenecks into one another vertically to fill in wooden panel frames. Secure with nails, glue, or wire. A lightweight wooden dome or box frame makes the perfect support. Make a flap or hinge door for access. Inside, temperatures rise gently. Humidity holds. The plants respond in kind. And outside, the structure stands quietly, telling its story to passers-by, that even waste can become warmth, protection, and food. This little dome reminds us that growth doesn't ask for much, just a bit of shelter, sunlight, and belief. And sometimes, the best walls are the ones made with care, not concrete. In the corner of the garden, where laughter echoes and little feet leave trails in the soil, a parade begins. Not of people, but of cheerful, handcrafted bugs. Bees buzzing yellow and black, ladybugs perch playfully, and dragonflies with shimmering wings seem frozen mid-flight. All born not from nature, but from plastic bottles and imagination. The Bottle Bug Parade brings joy to the garden and wonder to the hearts of children. Made from bottle parts, caps, and wire, these insect decorations are colorful, friendly, and full of character. They don't sting or bite. They smile and sparkle, reminding everyone that creativity has no age. Crafting them is part of the joy. Children gather old bottles, paint red dots onto ladybug shells, twist pipe cleaners for antennae, and cut translucent wings that catch the sunlight. No two bugs are the same. Each one has a personality, silly, shy, bold, or dreamy, mounted on stakes or hidden among the flower beds. They turn the garden into a storybook. They invite kids to play outside, to notice real bugs, to ask questions. Why do bees make honey? Why do butterflies flutter? Learning grows where joy is planted. DIY tip: use small bottles for ladybugs and bees, painting them with waterproof acrylics. Cut wings from clear plastic and attach with hot glue. Use wire or pipe cleaners for legs and antennae. Mount on wooden sticks or old utensils for easy placement. This parade never ends. It only grows, one bottle, one laugh, one brushstroke at a time. A garden, once silent, now hums with joy in the rustle of bottle wings. Because beauty, when shared with children, becomes magic. In the soft morning light, the coop stirs to life. Feathers ruffle, beaks cluck, and little feet scatter straw across the earth. Among the clamor, one quiet solution stands tall. Simple bottles suspended from wood, dripping cool water into clean trays. The chickens drink happily, and the day begins. This is the DIY Chicken Fountain, a humble yet clever innovation made from used plastic bottles. It's built for the small homesteader, the backyard farmer, or the family who keeps a few hens not just for eggs, but for joy. It's an answer to a common problem: how to keep water clean, fresh, and available without waste. Each bottle is filled and hung upside down above a shallow tray. As pressure shifts, the water releases gradually, keeping the level just right for your feathered friends. No puddles, no mess, just a simple, steady flow. Made from what most would discard, this system offers more than function. It's a quiet victory for sustainability, a reminder that caring for animals can be smart, affordable, and kind to the earth. DIY tip: Choose sturdy bottles, 1.5L or more, and fit the caps with small holes or nozzles. Use a secure hanging system, wire, rope, or shelf brackets to prevent spills. Place trays directly beneath the opening, and use shallow dishes easy for chickens to access but hard to tip. In every drop of water lies a story of care, of resourcefulness, of the small things that make a farm feel like home. And from bottle to beak, that story flows on. In a time where space is precious and water must be used wisely, there comes a quiet revolution. Grow without soil, without waste, and without forgetting where it all began. This is a Hydro Grow line, a homemade hydroponic system built not from expensive kits, but from empty bottles that once lined your kitchen floor. Cut horizontally, cleaned, and mounted in rows, each bottle becomes a cradle for life. Inside, a small net pot holds pebbles or cocoa peat. Water mixed with nutrients flows gently through tubing, passing bottle by bottle, nourishing the roots in silence. Lettuce, basil, even strawberries. Plants that once struggled in dry ground now thrive, suspended in clean simplicity. And the best part? It fits on a fence, a balcony railing, or a garden wall. It's food production scale for everyday homes, using waste to feed growth. Building it is part science, part craft. You shape the bottles, thread the tubing, check the flow, and then one morning, the first green shoots appear, and you feel like a modern farmer, part engineer, part dreamer. DIY tip: use uniform-size clear bottle for consistency. Cut a horizontal window on the top, and make small holes on both ends for water flow. Secure bottles to a frame or PVC pipe with zip ties. Use a small water pump for circulation, or go passive with gravity-fed flow. This is gardening reimagined, a future where plastic doesn't choke the earth. It helps grow what we need, where hands still touch nature, just in a new way, where every bottle becomes a vessel for hope. There's something grounding about sipping tea in a garden, your cup resting not on store-bought furniture, but on a table made by your own hands. A table that tells a story, not of factories or catalogs, but of second chances. The Eco Garden table stands low and sturdy, its foundation a lattice of reused plastic bottles, laid side by side in tightly bound rows. Some clear, some painted in soft tones. They rise to support a simple flat surface, maybe a wooden slab, maybe recycled board. And on that surface, a flower pot blooms, lavender, daisies, or perhaps wild sunflowers cut fresh from nearby. At first glance, guests might not notice. But when they do, they lean in, smile, and ask. That's where the magic happens. You tell them how those bottles were saved over months, how your hands shaped something useful, how it cost almost nothing but gave back so much. It becomes more than a table. It becomes conversation, commitment, a presence that says, we can live beautifully, gently, and meaningfully. DIY tip: use strong bottles, 1 to 2 liter, and secure them together with zip ties or string in a cube or rectangular form. For stability, add cardboard or wooden panels on top and bottom. Paint if desired, and finish with a water-resistant surface. This table doesn't ask to be perfect. It only asks to serve, to hold, to last. And in a world full of noise, offers something quiet. A surface where your coffee cools beside a bloom, and your thoughts settle into the soil. When the sun grows strong and the garden begins to hum, there's a space that calls a calm, a shaded nook, a whisper of privacy, a veil between you and the world. And here, swaying gently in the breeze, hangs a curtain not of cloth or silk, but of light color and repurposed plastic. The bottle curtain shade is woven from bottle rings and sliced plastic panels, threaded into long strands like wind-borne beads. Each piece catches a light in a different way. Green from a soda bottle, clear from a water jug, soft blue from a tinted tea bottle. Hung side by side, they form a shimmering barrier that moves like grass in the wind. As you sit behind it, shadows dance across your table. The air cools slightly and sound softens. It doesn't block the world, it softens it, offers presence without enclosure. The making is as meditative as the result. Cutting each ring, sanding edges, threading in quiet rhythm. It's a task done slowly, maybe over days, perhaps with a cup of tea nearby. It's tactile, satisfying, and deeply human. DIY tip: Use bottles of varied sizes for visual interest. Slice into rings or panels, sand edges, and punch small holes at each end. Use fishing line or natural twine to string them vertically. Attach the strands to a wooden beam, rod, or pergola frame. This curtain doesn't just shade you from sun. It invites you into stillness, into thought, into beauty. It is not made to impress. It's made to hold a moment and let the light play gently through what we once called waste. Beneath a sunlit sky, where morning breezes rustle the leaves and wildflowers gnaw gently in bloom, a small tower stands quietly, glistening at its crown. It isn't marble or stone. It's made from plastic, washed, repainted, and stacked with care. And at the very top, a shallow basin holds cool, still water. The bottle bird bath tower invites life. Sparrows land with light feet. Doves take gentle sips. Butterflies pause at the edges, their wings trembling in the light. This small structure becomes an oasis, a drink station, a mirror, a moment of rest. Built from reused bottles. Its form is practical. Each bottle provides height and structure, held together by a central rod or adhesive. The top is a shallow dish or upturned bottle base, filled and refreshed each morning. The design is stable, simple, and welcoming, offering birds both water and peace. DIY tip: use large, strong plastic bottles for stacking. Cut the tops or bottoms depending on your design. Insert a sturdy rod or bamboo stick through the center to align them. For the basin, choose a wide bottle base or lightweight plastic bowl. Add small pebbles to prevent tipping and give birds secure footing. Place it in a quiet corner near shrubs or feeders where birds feel safe. Refill it often, especially in summer heat. This tower is more than a sculpture. It is hospitality, a gesture of kindness to the creatures who share your garden, a reminder that we are not alone here, that even the smallest reuse can ripple outward into the soft beating of wings. Imagine stepping into a shower where the walls breathe light, not glass, where water falls gently, surrounded by leaves, sky, and the soft silhouettes of recycled bottles. The eco shower wall turns waste into wonder, offering privacy, creativity, and communion with nature in one beautiful rinse. Each wall panel is built from clear plastic bottles, aligned and secured into a wooden or bamboo frame. Their translucent bodies catch sunlight, scatter it gently, and turn an ordinary wash into something almost sacred. The bottles blur shapes but not light. They provide seclusion, yet remain open, welcoming air, birdsong, and sky. Taking a shower here is an experience. It reminds you how precious water is, how refreshing simplicity feels. It brings you closer to the source, closer to the earth. DIY tip: use bottles of similar size and transparency for uniformity. Remove caps and bases, and stack necks into each other to form long columns. Secure horizontally or vertically with wire, glue, or within pallet-like frames. A bamboo or treated wood frame keeps the structure sturdy and weather-resistant. Add vines or ferns nearby for a natural finish. This isn't just a bathroom wall. It's an invitation to reuse, to slow down, to stand beneath the open sky, and let water cleanse more than just your skin. Even the most ordinary bottle, when arranged with care, can become a window of light. And perhaps, in those morning showers, you'll find not just cleanliness but clarity.